One of my online academy students reached out to me recently and they said that they were struggling with hinging their wrist during the backswing. And there was one critical thing that they were doing that wouldn't allow them to hinge their wrists. And perhaps you're doing the same thing. Well, let's go check it out. The issue that this student had was that the club wasn't sitting in the correct part of the lead hand, and this is something that I see very often on the lesson tee. It's a common issue, and the problem is that the way that this student was holding the club, they couldn't hinge their wrist no matter how hard they tried. Now, why do we need hinge? Well, think of this. Hinge on the backswing turns into lag on the downswing. And we need that lag in order to generate power. We also need it in order to have a descending blow to make sure that we're going to get really good solid contact with those irons. Let's first clarify that we're talking about the full swing here. Not all hinge is created equal. We don't necessarily need the same amount of hinge for every shot. There are some shots that require hinge, some don't, some more, some less. So understand and keep in mind that this is for your regular full swing iron shots. The issue that this student had, and what you must watch for as well, is that the club was sitting too high up in the hand. It was sitting up in the palm. And when it sits up in the palm, we don't have the ability to hinge this wrist the same way we do when it's sitting down in the fingers. Imagine if you were holding onto a hammer and there was a stake in the ground. If you're holding it up in the palm, you're not able to hinge this wrist. When it's down in the fingers, we can create leverage, we can create power, and we can hammer that stake in much more quickly. What you'll notice when you're videoing your swing from the face-on view, so 90 degrees to the target line, when you hinge correctly, we'll have approximately a 90-degree angle when the lead arm reaches level to the ground between the shaft and that lead arm. If we have it up in the palm, we're not going to be able to achieve that 90-degree angle. Now, does it need to be exactly 90 degrees? No, but let's get close to it. Let's try and achieve the letter L by the time we're at that lead arm level to the ground position. I know you're wondering, what does this mean? What does this grip in the fingers, grip in the palm mean? So when we're gripping it in the palm, the club, the handle is sitting higher up in that hand, basically running right through this middle pad right here. When it's sitting in the fingers, the club, the handle is lower down, so basically running right underneath the base of these knuckle joints here. So that this pad, when I grip the club, this fatty pad is sitting right on top of the club. Okay, so I know you're thinking, Mike, I've heard that 300,000 times before. I still don't get it. What does it mean? What is the pad? Well, I'm going to show you. I had to run back up to the clubhouse for a second. I needed to grab a Sharpie for this next part. It wasn't in my golf bag for some reason, but don't worry, we're back now. Okay, we're back. I've got the Sharpie. I know you want to know what this grip thing means, so I'm going to deface my hand here in order to show you and really demonstrate. I want you to see there's a line that goes across my hand here, and I have no idea what this line is called. If you know what it is, throw it in the comments below and let me know. Be interesting to know. But this is the line in question, and I'm going to draw on my hand here as well as I can so that you can see the line that I'm talking about. This line right here, this is where it all happens. Okay, so let me grab a club. This one will do. And when I'm talking about fingers versus palm, let's see that I can do this at the right angle here. If you get up in the palm, then you're going to be above this line. I need the club, the handle, sitting either below the line or on the line. And I'm going to change the camera angle so I can show you a little better. Okay, this is better. Sometimes the best plan in the world doesn't always work out perfectly, but these grip angles, we need a low one here. So here we go. Again, this line, this is the line in question. And if we're above this line here, then we're going to be up in the palm. When we're hitting these full swing shots, we want to be either on it or below it. Okay, I'm good with any of those. And you can see this is the pad that I'm talking about here. This section here, I'm going to grab the Sharpie again. This is the pad that we're talking about. And this is what we want to sit on top of the club. Okay, let's see if we can do it here again. Club is below the line. This pad is above. You can see the graffiti that I've done on my hand here. If I hold it up in the palm, you're going to see two things. You're going to see, one, the club gets above the line, and two, you can no longer see those black marks that I put on the side of my hand there. So hopefully this helps with understanding, okay, where is it when we're gripping in the palm? Where is it when we're gripping in the fingers? Stay below this line right here. Make sure that we can see this mess when we're gripping onto the club, then we're happy days. When it's sitting down there in the fingers, notice how that pad is sitting on top. I can take everything off except for the pad and this bottom finger right here, and I can support the club. Now if I have it back underneath the line, back down, sorry, above the line, back in the palm, this is trouble here. I've got no strength, no power, no ability to hold onto this club when I let go of those fingers. There's no pad sitting on top to hold it from dropping. Now I know that there's going to be some comments regarding Mo Norman mentioning the fact that he gripped it in the palm. Well, he did talk about gripping it in the palm. He also talked about gripping it in the fingers. He also used a 10-finger grip. So before you beat me up, I understand the fact that there are many different types of grips. My suggestion to you is that if you're struggling with your hinge, you're definitely going to want to grip it more in the fingers, not the palm. Now often people will get unstuck and get the club sitting in the incorrect position because of their routine, the way that they address the ball. So if the ball's sitting here and you're someone that puts the club in and then gets your grip while the club is sitting on the ground, that is typically going to be very difficult to get the club down into the fingers, because I would have to angle my wrist this way, which is quite awkward, quite uncomfortable to do. So I've got one of two suggestions. Suggestion one would be, if you're going to grip your club, hold it parallel to the ground, because here I can hold my hand in a pretty natural position and I can very easily place it into the fingers right where I want it. And then I can close the rest of the grip and sit that pad right on top. It's a very easy way to make sure that you can control getting the club down into the fingers. The second option is something that I would say might be step two. So as you're comfortable and as you learn to place the club down in the fingers, then start to learn this part. So what I do is, and this is what I do in my own routine, if I was hitting towards the camera, I start with the club right by my left side here, and I can actually just naturally sit the club down into my fingers. Everything's on a very normal angle here. If I come around to the side, if I were hitting in this direction here, I don't have to angle my wrist in any awkward position to get it down in the fingers. So once it's down there, I lift the hand up. I've got it. I'll do the check here. I've got it sitting in the fingers here so that the pad is sitting on top. The palm is sitting on top there. And once I've got it in that hand, I've basically got my left hand grip on. And when I walk in to hit the shot, I've done half the job already. Well guys, hopefully now you understand the relationship between where you hold the club in your hand and how it affects your ability to hinge the club, which in turn affects your ability to generate power and also gain good solid contact. If you're not sure if this is for you, make sure you video your swing from the face-on view. Check out what your hinge looks like at that 3/4 back, lead arm level to the ground position. You want to make sure anytime you're changing something that it is right for you. You can also do the grip check that we looked at to make sure that you are gripping in the fingers or if you're gripping in the palm. And do that little assessment every now and then just to make sure that it doesn't drop back to the wrong spot. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or anything else I can help you with, then leave a comment below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, good golfing.